Okay, so today we're going to do a very cool demo. We're going to implement this little chart here from that image that we find on Google. So we do a Google search, we get to this image, copy this image, put it in Procoder, and then we can implement this, add that, and then even have some sort of interactivity over there. So that is going to be pretty cool. And the way it is a new attachment support of Procoder here, just by copy pasting clipboard images into VS Code or any IDE. So super simple and very powerful. Okay, so let's start from scratch now. So first we're going to do an AIP. You install an AIPack -v to make sure that you have AIPack 0.8.10 or above. Then you do a AIP check keys, and that is to check that you have your environment keys or whatever model you are using. Today we are going to use the Opus 4.5, which is awesome. Then you do a AIP install pro at coder, that is the coder pack, and then you do AIP run pro at coder. So far, so good. Now, this is a terminal UI for the Procoder, for AIPack, and that is the parametric prompt. So the way it works here is the prompt is here, that is the parameters, and that is the answer of the AI minus the file update. So now, if we go to the parameters, we are going to go, and so far we don't need the knowledge globes. The base dir will be at the root of the directory, and then the context globe is what we send, the data, and the structure globe is just the file path. So we're going to update both right now, and we're going to do a web content because we're going to implement a web page. Then we're going to scroll down, and now we're going to have the write mode true. And for the model, we can use the full name or the alias. So we have Opus, that is going to be the alias to Opus 4.5. So that is pretty cool. And that is where we're going to put our prompt. Now, in this demo, what we're going to do is we're going to go to image.google and we're going to type nice graph design. So we're going to take a graph design for Google Images, and then we found this one, which looks pretty good. So we're going to visit the site, and here's the trick. The only thing that we need to do is we're going to take that as a screenshot. Boom. Now we're going to go back to our VS Code, and that is where it's very nice with VS Code. So AIPack and Procoder works with any IDE. Doesn't matter, just terminal. But with VS Code, it's very nice because you can do Command V on a markdown, and this is a markdown, and that will paste the image. Now we can call it chart. We don't need to rename the images, that's fine. And now here's a trick. We're just going to put this prompt, and that is going to be in the web content folder, implement index.html to display the chart shown in the image. Use canvas, follow the same dot positions. The chart should be take 2/3 of the page and resize with the page and be centered. So far, so good. Then we go back over there. We can either click on the replay or press R, same thing. Then it goes and it's going to run. So here we see that we're going to use a Cloud Opus 4.5. This is the duration so far. This is the prompt files. That is a task. So this is one run. A run can have multiple tasks. This is more advanced. But so far it's going to be one task per run. We see the price of the model and boom, it's done. So the prompt is 3,000 tokens, about 4,000. And this one is 1,500 tokens. Now we're going to look at the index.html and we're going to do something like this, which is a live preview. So that is a little VS Code extension. You can open the HTML the way you want. And once you click on it, it will open that in a browser. And we see our chart here, which is implemented in Canvas. So it's very nice. And that is not the image. In fact, we can go back here and we can delete this image and then go back to the web browser and it still works very nicely. So everything has been implemented. Now, here's the cool things. We go back there, we can close this file. In Procoder, we have this git commit, which is a suggestion. So make sure that you have a good git ignore. You exclude the .AIPack because usually you don't want that in your git, but you include the other source. And then you go back there and you are going to paste that. That will make sure that we have everything in the git commit. So it's very important that when we use Wiz AI, you want to have a good git discipline. Now, here's the very cool things. Let's go that we go to our web application and we want actually to have a little toggle here that will say line and bar. So for that, I'm going to take a screenshot of that guy. I'm going to open Affinity 3, it's amazing. So I'm going to paste that there. And I already did in this Affinity here, little bar, toggle bar like this, that I can show. And that is this one, line and bar. So I'm going to do this, and I think I can probably make it like this, not too bad. Okay, so this is something I already prepared, but you can do it with whatever software you want, Figma or whatever. So now we have this, but here's the beauty. I take a screenshot of that, and you guessed it, go back there, And now is not image. Go to the chart with toolbar. And then on this one, this is where I'm going to do that line. Implement the toggle toolbar as shown in the image and implement the bar view. So far, so good. I go back to AIP and then I click on the terminal, press R, and then boom, it runs again. Okay? So again, so far, 5 cents, not too bad. And we're going to wait. Usually Opus 4.5 is about 30 seconds. It's actually very fast compared to others. So we're going to wait a little bit and then boom, it's done. 5,000 on the prompt and then 2,000 on the right. So that is pretty good. So this one is 9 cents and we're going to see that if it implemented the right thing and we have it over there. So that is pretty good. Now, it's a little bit higher than what I wanted here, but we're going to have a plan for that. So we go back there. I'm going to git the commit because, again, when you work with AI, you want to make sure to have a good git commit, such as you can restore if you need anything. So here's the thing, yeah, it didn't really follow the chart with toolbar because if we look at the image over there, we see that the line and the bar here, it's closer to the graph. It's actually, halfway like that. And we see that in these guys, it's way up there. So I don't like it. So I'm going to do something like that. And I'm going to actually just screenshot this guy. And I go back in my color prompt and I'm going to say this one, paste it over there. I'm say actual chart implemented. So now we have these two images here, and then we're going to do this chart with toolbars, and we're going to call reference. Okay, so far so good. And so now what we have those two images, and then we can paste here my little prompt, position the toolbar so that it overlaps with the top line of the chart and make it larger as shown in the chart with toggle reference, which is this one. So probably we might want to change this name to be exactly that. And then look at the actual chart implemented to see how it currently looks. Go back there, press R, then it does a change. Then we're going to check it, boom, and then that's it. It's pretty cool. And we have the line and we have the bar. That's it. So now that we have this is pretty cool. I'm going to go back there, git back here. I'm going to commit this guy. I'm happy. And now just for fun, I'm going to have this prompt here, which is now when in line mode, allows the user to drag the dot vertically to keep the lines connected. Then I go back here, I press R, and I'm going to check here. This one is very, very small here. Even if it's one big file, it's actually pretty efficient because it does a search replace. And now if we do this, we go back to our thing. And then if we do this, we can move the lines like that. Doesn't really make sense here, but you can cheat numbers. So we can say we're doing pretty well in our business right now. And then you do the bars and it's like that. And that is pretty cool. And to commit it. And you know me, the single page here kind of stressed me out a little bit over there. So usually what I will do is I will refactor the code to do something like this, refactor the web content index HTML with main.css and gs.css, and then some stuff like that. And I will go back there, I'll press R, and that will refactor the code. And then obviously here, while it's doing that, I can remove these images. This is just transient images, and then that's it. And then I'm going to wait probably about 30 seconds. Opus 4.5 is awesome. Boom is done. 1 minute and 28 seconds. That was quite a bit of work, but it did quite a bit of work. 7,000. That makes sense. We make sure that everything works. It works very nicely. We reload and then we change the stuff. I mean, this is as good as it gets. Yeah. And now we're going to check. It did the CSS, var colors, and it did the refactoring here, main and all of that. It's pretty good. I'm going to do the things. There's a git add here, which is cool. Go back there, paste it, and all the code is neat and nice. So we went from that image to that things with two bars like that. And I can even change the numbers, which doesn't really make sense, but we did that in 2 minutes and 40 seconds of AI work and 46 cents. And that is pretty cool.